Hi guys, welcome back to my temple. Okay, so today we're gonna get a little deep, all right? So I highly suggest you watch some of my other videos if you haven't been keeping track. Anything, especially the one about the energy, that explains the 4 elemental energies. And in each of those 4 elemental energies, there are 3 subsets of elemental energies within each element, which comes out to 12, right? And it was cardinal, fixed, and mutable, right? So we're going to use that system of information because, as I said also in that video, coincidentally enough, hint, hint, which I explained in that video, everything is connected to everything else. And once you broaden your awareness, blah, 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 blah. Maybe I'm just getting an example of that connection right now for this video. Anywho, we're going to start by trying to make this simple, right? And I'm going to try to keep my camera as still as possible. So, and I'm going to be moving this notepad a lot too because it helps me make the shape I need. Right? So I'm just basically trying to dissect this into close to 3 equal triangles within each quarter of this square shape-ish thing, right? And it'll all start to make sense afterwards. I just need to make a little drawing first. And what you'll see is even though it's starting to look complex, it's really not, especially if you think about when I was mentioning in the video about the elements, when I said fire and earth are the same energy, they're just connected by different polarities, the extreme of one end and the extreme of the other end, positive and negative, if you will. And so if you think of these lines as just different energies, even though it starts to look complex, just think of it as 6 different energies, which have 2 different extremes of those 6 energies, which comes out to 12 different energies. And then there's roughly 3 of these in each of these 4 squares. So it comes out to 12 evenly shaped triangles. So that's what the goal is that I'm currently attempting to do. So let's start doing it. Now, the beautiful thing about sacred geometry, which is essentially what I'm doing right now, is you don't even have to be good. It literally just creates itself. All you have to do is line up the shapes, the lines. You literally just have to line up the lines. You gotta see the it'll correct itself. You know what I mean? You just have to see the path or whatever. And so, you take this one, you take that one, and then half, right to there, right to there. And you just want to make sure the distance is roughly the same, and then you go right there, and you go right there, right? That's still pretty decent, right? So then you don't even have to really do much. You just have to connect the line, right? So you already know the line is already following a certain flow. So you just continue the flow, right? So even if you're wrong, you just kind of go over it and doodle over it, right? And eventually you'll get the shape right. So this, I want you to think of this as God, right? In its simplest form, the circle, the energy of God, the energy of the divine. Don't really try to label it with the word God and then you put the Christian. Think of it more, you already know what I'm talking about. Think of it as the spark that governs all of creation, right? And this is the science of it. So there's this point of energy, right? And this point of energy shoots out in 12 different directions, right? And each of those directions forms a point. Eight, nine, right? And then each of those points is connected to the other, and it's an extreme. So it forms 6 solid separate energies, right? So this is going to be the template of how the energy works, right? So, and I might stop this video because if I get too much past like 15 minutes, I just might make like a part 2 and then we'll just continue from here. This might be like, okay, so here's the thing you got to realize. Like I said, I'm only a theorist, right? And yeah, we've been dabbling in elemental energy and a little bit of planetary, or at least the basics. And that's all well and good. But now we're jumping into zodiacal, right? This right here is the beginning was going to be zodiacal. And this is no longer novice. This is now intermediate. So this is now stuff that you have to have pre-requirements of information of things prior to this. Because if you don't, when I start talking and giving you information, you'll have nothing to relate it or compare it to as your springboard for more advanced information, and you'll just get completely lost in the waves. So I'm sure, everyone that's watching this has already watched all of my other videos because, obviously, how could you not? I'm so compelling, and you just can't help but listen to me. So this is the spark, right? And now we're gonna kind of start making. So remember, Saturn is all about, and you know what? Here, so this right here, this right here, this right here. Now, obviously, this is not a perfect circle, right? But your mind can see the beginning of what could be a perfect circle. And if you're creative enough, you can create this picture, this imperfect picture, and you can make it into what it should look like. Or you can make it move around. I mean, you can make the lines dance around right now. I mean, you can really dissect this image with your mind and recreate it on a whole new level. But the fact of the matter is this is Kether, right? And then Kether breaks down into all the possible energies that it could have. And that is considered Hakma. Hakma, right? Hakma. And Hakma is, in its sense, all 12 zodiac signs. And so I'm going to attempt to begin to explain the zodiac signs and the energies and how they relate and how all of this information that I'm going to tell you right now, this only goes up to number 2 on the tree of life. It doesn't go past 2. There's still 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a crap ton of information in this, what I'm going to be drawing, right? So it's going to get really dicey really quickly. So here we go. So the very first thing that was created was the spark, right? And the spark is cardinal fire, right? And this is Aries. Aries is the spark of fire. It's the beginning of fire. So then that energy goes from Aries, because remember, nothing is created or destroyed. It just goes in a path. It goes in a cycle. And as you'll learn, Saturn creates cycles. Saturn's all about, everything gets recycled, everything gets changed, nothing is destroyed, everything that is destroyed is really just recycled and created into something else. And if you think it's destroyed, you're just not aware of what's being created to. And remember, Saturn is number 3. So all of this is number 2. And then Saturn will be number 3. And that plus that will birth the creation of the rest of the tree of life. It'll go down from there. But it all starts with this. So once you go from Aries, then you go into fixed Earth. And this is important because this is your first fixed element. So this is essentially what this earth element really is. So all of the earth element is this. And the other 2 earth signs, Virgo and Capricorn, they are merely shades of this. Just as if you only have red and then you have a shade of red, darker red, or a shade of red, lighter red, Capricorn and Virgo are just shades of Taurus, okay? So this is very important. This is fixed Taurus. This is the bull, and the bull has very deep significance. Then you go to mutable air. And that is Gemini, right? And so now you have fire, earth, wind. And so next in line, it takes that energy and transforms into water. And you get the very first water sign, which is cardinal water, right? So here's what we're looking at so far. So now they've completed one cycle of elements, and they're still going from cardinal fixed to mutable. So we just did cardinal and we're at water, and so now we have to go back to fire. So then we create fire. And this is the fixed form of fire. So this is going to have significance just as Taurus did. And this is Leo. And Leo is the essence of fire, right? And fire is very important because fire isn't represented by 2 traditional planetary energies like almost every other one of these 12 energies. This is actually just one energy, and that is the sun. So this is essentially the pure essence of fire, and the sun and the Leo. It's all the same. So then you go to Earth again. And you go to So I messed up that sign. But essentially, this is mutable Earth, right? This is mutable Earth. This is Virgo. And then you go from Earth to air. And so you have cardinal air, right? And this is also an insanely important moment, because just as this point of energy in the beginning in Kether, right? Because this is just a representation of Kether turning in to Hakma, right? So just as they have a polar opposite, we started with Aries, and now we have the polar opposite of Aries, which is mutable or cardinal air, and that's Libra. So this will be important to remember later, and it'll help you associate things of more difficulty, because you know anything associated with 7 or Libra is going to be in complete opposition with 1 and Aries. They're the same energy, but they're completely opposite of each other. And this is the first, right? So then you go to water. And now you're at fixed water. And that is Scorpio, right? And once again, we have another fixed. So this is the essence of water. So if you want to know the essence of what water is, it's Scorpio. It is fixed Scorpio. And coincidentally enough, for the uninitiated, when you start to look into the zodiac sign of Scorpio, I just want to break it to people, unfortunately, especially people of a polarized mindset, there are going to appear good and bad energies. And if you want to look at it from that lens, Scorpio is definitely one of the quote unquote bad energies. And water is very, very quote unquote scary and unknown. And there's a lot of mystery to water, and that, creates fear. And, so Scorpio is, water is not a happy-go-lucky energy. It is a calm, deep, silent, very reflective, it absorbs. Yeah, so anyways, so then you go from water and you go back to fire again, right? And so you got mutable fire. Actually, I apologize. You'll notice that and the 4 fixed signs, I just want to point out, it seems that they themselves actually are in complete opposition to each other. So you have water and you have earth. So these are in complete opposition. And then you go to, because you've got Scorpio and you've got Taurus. And like I said, so you've got to think of each of these zodiac signs as a character in a TV show, right? And each of them portrays a dominant element for their personality. And way back when in the Zodiac, or I believe it was the Why Everybody Should Have a Temple, or the Neophyte grade, I kind of hinted, I started to explain that the elements and the personality, so each element rules over different personality types, and then different people are ruled over by different elements more than others. So some people might have more fire, some people might have more earth, blah, 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 whatever. So as I was saying, we've got Sagittarius. So later on, they get more in depth. I'm not really gonna. What I was trying to say is I'm not gonna explain all the individual details. That'll be part 2 maybe, or part 3 or whatever. But this is just the layout of what it is, right? So you've got mutable fire, and that is in complete opposition with Gemini, right? Mutable air. And then you have another one I probably butchered, maybe not. But that is cardinal Earth, right? And that's Capricorn, right? And that's in complete opposition with Cancer. It's the complete opposite polarity. And then you have fixed air. And this, of course, is the official element of air, right? And it's complete opposition with the official element of fire, right? And these 4 esoterically have great significance. Great significance. Because the 4 fixed zodiac signs are all throughout the media and the books and TV shows and society and the Bible. Like, they're all over the place. All over the place. The 4 fixed signs are very, very important because they are the 4 pillars that hold up this Hakma. Because this is radiating and it's creating this, and this. So then you go to mutable water. And that is Pisces. And Pisces is a combination of all of these together, right? But things don't end. Things just change. So once it gets to Pisces, it then sparks itself back to its original spark. Because Aries is just that. It doesn't last long. It doesn't have longevity like Sagittarius. Whereas Sagittarius lacks the power and the oomph. Aries is that. It's the explosion. It's the real quick, self-sacrificing to save others. It's that. It begins something and it ends something. And you get more into that because each of this is associated with the season and different parts of the calendar of the year. And I mean, none of this ever went away in the old days. It's still in reality now. It's just put in a format that's been logically placed in our heads so we understand it. So like the 12 hours of the day, the 12 months of the year, they are recognizing these 12 energies from Kether, and they're placing it in a way so that they can utilize it to their advantage. So anyways, this is the beginning format of the zodiac sign, all 4 fixed zodiac signs, all 4 of the elemental triplicities. And I think in the next video, I'm going to break it down even more. So this was a really, really, really good informative video, and I really hope you got this. And you might want to watch this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 times if you need to. Like there's times when I'll find myself, there's YouTube channels. If I go ahead and I'll just plug one, Mind and Magic. It literally just changed my life. And I would watch there. I mean, over the years, I've watched some of those videos 10, 20 times, because you think you've seen it, you think you've heard it, and you watch it again, you watch it again, you watch it again, and then a year goes by and you have so much more perspective, you have so much more information, you have so much more wisdom, experience, and you catch things, you catch associations, you catch things that he didn't even know he'd said. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. So anyways, this video went on long enough. If you've stayed and watched this, you are very, very well informed for the next stuff. So thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.